Recording in progress.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Greetings to each and every one of us. We welcome you to today's webinar. We are on the platform of Deep Dive, Globally Changing Lives. Today is September 3rd, 2024, and we are so honored and blessed to have you with us. And we're starting the webinar now with our signature tune. And this music is from one of our global ambassadors, Sister Lerato Shadari. And it's In It to Win It. And please pay special attention to the images which are created by the one and only, one of our brothers who has given us this platform, Dr. Derek Clark. Thank you very much, Dr. Derek. Back to you.
Lifting up humanity Your next stop is ONPASSIVE.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Very much, Sister Lorato. And we're moving to the next segment, which is the mindset. Our CEO, we know there's no doubt about it. He promised us the physical, and we're working on the mental by ourselves. Our mindset speaker for the day, Dr. T, is going to talk to us, train us on how to stop sabotaging our own success. And she has 10 warning signs to share with us. So get your pen and pencil and paper or whatever notes you choose to make, because Dr. T is always here to train. We all know who she is. She's an international transformational speaker. She's a life coach, and we know how she coaches everyone that gets um, into her hands. She is always an empowerment trainer, a TV talk show, and has published 4 books of her own. And the one other thing that she's been sharing with us is that she's editor and chief of Discovering You magazine. And during the course of the webinar, all the links to whatever she has will be posted, just in case you are interested in pursuing one of them or supporting any of her books. So without further ado, Dr. T, we appreciate you sharing with us every Tuesday, and you've been doing this for a while. Please, welcome. The microphone is yours. You look gorgeous.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, King Carlton. Thank you. Hey, you're next week. Did you get my memo? You're next week. Okay. All right. Hey, I am so excited tonight. Thank you so much, Queen Debbie, for the wonderful introduction as always. And again, I am just so honored to be a part of this platform because you all have given me an opportunity to really utilize my gift and walk in my calling. Thank you so much. And this message is very, very important to me. You know, I want you all to know something. I don't want to be repetitious, but I want to make sure that I drill this in your hearts and your heads. When I choose topics, I'm choosing topics because I truly want to see your lives transformed. Number one. Secondly, I choose topics that's going to also transform my life. I am the first partaker of the message. So when I find a topic that I think will be applicable to actually complete the task that I have intended in my heart, I go for it. You know, and it's not always easy finding topics, week after week. And I want you to know that. And I've already said that to you before, but I want to reiterate that. So the topic that I'm going to share with you tonight, the reason why it's so important to me, because if you look at what's going on in the world, you have so many people who are what I would call dreamless, purposeless, visionless. And by no means am I trying to imply that that applies to you or those who are watching on live stream. But if any of the areas that I'm about to share with you is applicable to your life, I want to implore you to make a conscious effort to change. because we all have a mandate to do what our Heavenly Father has created us to do. And we are all going to be held accountable. It doesn't matter what's going on in politics. It doesn't matter what's going on in religion. It doesn't matter what's going on in the community. God is going to hold us accountable as individuals. We're not going to get up there with a group of people and he judges us all as a group. We're going to be judged as an individual. So my job as a transformational speaker, and I'm also something that you may not have known about me, but we don't have to add that to my introduction when you introduce me, but I'm also an ordained minister. And like I said, you don't have to. The only reason why I'm sharing that with you, because sometimes if I mention scripture or I get a little spiritual on you, that's why. And I understand this is a business platform. And I understand that you all allow us to speak spiritually. But I want to stay in with the format, because I know that everybody does not believe the same. So it's not my intent to insult anyone, to offend anyone, but I will always proclaim that Jesus Christ is my Lord. I'm going to always proclaim that, like DrBenny. I'm going to proclaim that. If that's not your testimony, that's between you and the God that you serve. But the God that I serve is sitting high and he looks low. And he sees everything that we do. And I believe that he's given me a mandate to make sure that when I'm on this platform, that I share a topic with you that's going to challenge you, that's going to encourage you to always do the right thing. The old cliche is that you can lead a horse to water, but you cannot make him drink it. Let me tell you why. Because sometimes if you lead a horse to the water, he's not thirsty. See, they left that part out. If the horse is not thirsty, he won't drink. And it's the same thing with all of us as human beings. If we don't think that we lack knowledge, or if we don't think that we need a certain teaching, we're not going to partake. We're not going to be able to appreciate it. And that is so prevalent. We know that by the word of God. How many people didn't listen to him? How many people wanted to persecute him because they didn't want to hear the truth? But tonight we're going to hear some truths. And again, if this is applicable to your life, I'm not pointing the finger. I'm not trying to be judgmental. I just want you to be aware, like myself, and make a conscious effort to change. Just change. So again, like as Queen Debbie mentioned in my introduction, my topic tonight is stop sabotaging your success. I'm going to share with you 10 warning signs that you may be an underachiever, or you're underachieving and you're not living up to your potential. But tonight, because of time, because we have another speaker, I'm going to only share with you 5 of the warning signs. And the next week I will share the other 5. One of the worst fears we should have is to not live up to our potential. That should be one of our worst fears, that we do not live up to our full potential. In other words, am I doing what the Creator called me to do? I ask myself that question all the time. And some of you may say, Dr. T, you've accomplished a lot. Look at your resume. Look at what Queen Debbie said about you when she introduced you. Okay, and that's fine and dandy. I appreciate the accolades. I really do. But Dr. T feels like there's so much more that I need to be doing and that I could be doing. And as I look at some of these warning signs that I'm going to share with you, I realize that Dr. T has some of these issues that she has to deal with. I'm going to be transparent with you tonight, and I hope that you'll be transparent too as I go through these things. So again, one of the worst fears should be not living up to your full potential. And you should ask yourself, am I doing what I was created to do? There's no high. There's nothing greater than being able to accomplish something that you've always wanted to do, and something that has been challenging, and you do it. One of the biggest challenges I've had in my life was when I wrote my first book. I always desired to be an author, always desired to be an author. And I remember when I was in college, my first year of college, when I graduated from high school, I started college when I was 17 years old. I went to summer school to get a head start. And I remember my college professor, when I wrote a paper for the assignment, he said, "You are an excellent writer." Now, no one ever told me that before. I didn't know that. And when he told me that, that sparked like, wow, am I really a good writer? And at that point, I said, I'm going to write a book. But at that time, I didn't write a book. So many years passed by because so many things came up in my life that put that off on hold. But when I accomplished writing my first book, I was on top of the world. I had my book signing and everything. And this is the reason why I'm telling you all this. I'm not telling you this to toot my horn, to be braggadocious. I'm saying this to be humble, to share with you what it feels like to accomplish something that you may think is greater than yourself. And that's what I did, my first book. But unfortunately, many people may feel they're underachieving in their lives. There are people out there like that. So how do you know? How does a person know that they are not meeting the mark? How would they know? So I'm going to share with you right now some telltale signs of how you may be living under your potential, how you may be underachieving in your life. And I'm going to also share with you how to overcome it. So let's go with me on this journey as we cover the first 5 areas, the first 5 warning signs that you may be underachieving, that you may not be living up to your full potential. So number 1, I don't know what happened. Can you all hear me now? Can you hear me? You all lost me. I lost you all for a minute. Okay, I apologize. Can you hear me now? Am I here?
Yes, yes, we
Okay.
can hear you clearly.
Okay, I don't know what happened. Please forgive me.
It's
Number
okay. It's
1,
not your fault.
okay, you're just coasting along. If you're not able to maintain your usual effort and drive, or feeling like you're checked out mentally, maybe you've checked out emotionally, then you're emotionally coasting. Have you ever felt like that? Like you're just going through the motions. You know, it's not no real zeal, no real enthusiasm. Have you ever felt like that? Now, sometimes coasting might be good because it could be a good coping mechanism in terms of not feeling so overwhelmed, not feeling anxiety and stress. There's some people who are just really laid back and very few things stress them out. That could be a good coping mechanism, coasting along. But coasting can also be very unhealthy when it becomes a person's way of life for everything they do. You have no get up and go and no ambition. Does that feel familiar to any of you? I felt that way before. If you're constantly avoiding taking action or living off the momentum of past efforts, this might be a problem for you, okay? Particularly if you're being pushed or pulled by other people. In other words, if somebody else is always encouraging you to move forward, get up, let's go, let's do something, then you're just coasting along. Ask yourself this question. I want you to be serious about this. Ask yourself this question. Have you been sailing through life and you're just going with the flow? Have you ever experienced that where you're just going with the flow? Any way the wind blows, that's where it takes you. That's a warning sign that you're underachieving. You're not living up to your potential because you're just coasting along. And I would dare to say that many, I know I have been, I'm just going to be transparent, okay? I'm being very real with you. Many of us, maybe even on this webinar, even those who are watching live stream, are either experiencing that right now or they've experienced that.
So this is a warning sign that you are not living up to your potential because you're just coasting along. Now, what can we do about that? There's a reason. There's something we can do about this. Remember a while back when I first started teaching on this platform, I spoke on a message called "What is Your Why?" Remember that? What is your why? That was one of the first messages that I spoke about. What is your why? One of the ways to stop being complacent is to either discover your why or rediscover your why. In other words, go back and find your why. Because when you go back and find your why, this should be the greatest motivation to help you get unstuck. Because the reason why you're coasting is because you don't know your why. In other words, what is your purpose? I've shared with you many, many times that the graveyard is the richest place in the world. Why? Because so many people lost their why. They lost their sense of purpose. Many of them have died prematurely. Some even lived to be a ripe old age. But they died with their potential in their grave. They didn't have anything to live for because they didn't have a why. They were underachievers because they lost their why. They lost their sense of purpose. Remember, I told you all what the definition of purpose? Purpose, a divine and deliberate mandate from God that glorifies him. It justifies, why are you taking up space on this earth? Why are you here? And it serves mankind. And if you're not doing those three things, if what you're doing in life is not glorifying him, and you can't justify why you're taking up space on this earth, and you're not doing anything to serve mankind, then you're definitely not living out your why. So we have to learn to redefine ourselves and discover our why. And when we discover our why, we'll stop just coasting along. So that's number one. The second warning that you're living below your potential, that you're underachieving, is you have an excuse for everything. Does that sound familiar? You have an excuse for everything. Excuses can be your enemy. I'll go back to school when I don't have so much on my plate. I'll go back to school and get my PhD. I'll go back to school and get my doctorate. I'll go back to school and get my bachelor's degree. I'll go back to school. But I just have too much on my plate right now. Don't have time. I can't go after that promotion because I just don't have the right qualifications. Just don't have it. Even though I know I have seniority, even though I know I've mastered the job, even though I know I'm the best person for the job, but I know that I just don't seem to have the qualifications. So I am not going to go after that promotion. I'm not going to do it. I know I've always had this desire to go on this vacation, but I got 25 more pounds to lose. Got to lose those 25 pounds. Can't go on vacation until I lose those 25 pounds. Got to get in that bathing suit. Excuses. And the excuses go on and on and on. I want to write that book. I've always wanted to write a book, Dr. T. It's in me. It's in me. But I just don't seem to have the time. I don't know where to get started. Excuses. So what does that mean? That time is passing you by, opportunities are passing you by, and you're not living. And at the end of the day, you feel so unfulfilled because you think about all those things, all the opportunities that you passed up, that you didn't achieve. Why? Because you always had an excuse. If you really want to do something, let me just say this to you. If you really want to do something, you'll find a way. You'll find a way. And if you don't, what are you going to do? Make excuses. You're going to make excuses. But let's see if we can avoid this trap. Let's see how we can avoid falling back on excuses. We need to do something if we want to avoid falling back on excuses. We need to learn to invest in ourselves, get ready for those opportunities that we want to tackle in our professional lives and in our personal lives. We need to stop comparing ourselves with other people, like keeping up with the Joneses. I think last week I talked about keeping up with those Joneses. Don't always try to be like somebody else because you don't know what it's going to take to be like them. You don't know the sacrifices they've made. You don't know the turmoil that they're going through to be who they are. So stay out of that arena. Okay, it's also important to take personal responsibility for your actions. I've always said this, I said over and over again, you are 100% responsible for your life, for the choices that you make. So number 2, you have an excuse for everything. Get out of that rut of always making excuses why you are not doing something. This is another sign that you are not living up to your potential and that you're underachieving. Get out of the excuses mode. If you want to go forward, stop making the excuses and start taking some personal interest in yourself and stop looking at other people and take responsibility for your actions. Stop scapegoating because that also is an excuse. Number 3, you're distracted by drama. This is my favorite one. You're distracted by drama. You might think you're the kind of person who thrives on drama. Sometimes you may think, I like the chaos. It just makes my life interesting. Woohoo! I'm all over the place. But if there's always some kind of drama that you have to tend to on every turn, it is very well a possibility that you are not going to be accomplishing your goals. You thought about that? Have you ever thought about that? Let me give you some examples. Think about your own life. Think about your family dynamics, the people in your life, your friends, your co-workers. Are you the go-to person? Are you the person that everybody always depends on? Whenever there's a crisis, they're going to call you. You might as well put a cape on your back and put a big S on it and become Superman or Superwoman because they're coming to you. Because you're Mr. or Miss Fix-It. Anything goes wrong, they're going to call you. You're going to drop everything you do to go see about everybody else. You're in another state, and there's something going on in another state, and you got to get on a plane and go solve the problem. And it's not even your problem. Not even your problem. Have you ever experienced that in your family? I used to date a young man. I was very, very close to him. We had a very good relationship. But the problem was that he was the guy that everybody had to go to in their family. And this was a huge family. It was a big family there, all these siblings and everything. But he was the one, I guess he had the most level head. So he was the one that if anything went wrong in the family, who did they call? They called him. And as a result, we broke up. Okay, I'm just being transparent. And many years later, he found me and he came back and told me, he said, Tunishai, you were right. He said, I allowed these people to pull on me. I allowed these people to interfere with our relationship. We didn't get back together again, but it was so good to hear him admit that he realized what I was trying to tell him. It wasn't that I didn't want him to be around his family. He had a wonderful family. I loved his family. But I recognized that they were always pulling on him, and it hindered him from going forward and being the best version of himself because he was always involved in their mess. Don't let that be you. Don't let that be your excuse for not doing something great. Okay? Don't let that be your excuse. This is what you need to do. Learn how to say no. It's okay to say no. I always tell you, no is a great word. Avoid those toxic people, situations, and unimportant situations. Avoid them. And then learn how to delegate. My older sister is real good at that now. She's in her 80s, and she'll tell you in a minute, she has a very sound mind. She'll tell you, hey, I'm not putting up with that. I'm not going to do it. So if that means if she's not going to do it, what does that mean? Somebody else has to do it. And she'll tell you somebody else is going to do that. And that's what we need to learn to do. Everything that you're trying to put your hands in is not for you to put your hands in. Stay focused on your goals. Stay focused on what God has called you to do. And I'm not saying, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying don't help people. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying don't get involved. But sometimes we're little busybodies. And we find ourselves becoming overwhelmed because we want to be overzealous and we want to also feel like we're important because we're that go-to person. It makes us feel good about ourselves. But at the end of the day, what have you accomplished? Lose the drama and start doing what you believe is your destiny and be able to discern if what you are doing is part of your assignment. Let me say that one again. Be able to discern if what you are doing is part of your assignment. If it's not part of your assignment, what are you doing there? Ask yourself that question. What am I doing? Get out of that place You want to live up to your potential. Do not allow this to be one of the areas that you're unachieving while you're unachieving in your life, because you always find yourself around drama. Drama is not good for you. The only place the drama is good is on the stage or on the screen. And that's not your life. That's not your life. So remember that. You're distracted by drama. Get that off your plate and look forward to moving forward. That's number 3. Number 4, we're winding down. Number 4, time keeps getting away from you. How many times have you said that? I just don't have enough time. Time keeps getting away from you. Are you always complaining that you never have enough time for your own pursuits because of endless errands you have to run, the chores that you have to do, and just plain old life? Hey, life happens. I'm busy. Don't have enough time. You don't have enough time. That's a real issue, okay? It's called time poverty, when you really don't have enough time to do what you need to be doing. That's a real issue. It's called time poverty. It's almost like a status symbol with you. It makes you feel important because you think because you're busy that you're doing something worthwhile. But are you productive? See, there's a difference between being busy and being productive. See, when you're productive, you see the results. If they have physical manifestation of your results. When you're busy, it might be like a whim. You may feel overwhelmed, you feel stressed, you feel anxious. That's busyness. But when you're productive, you can see the manifestation of your labor. That's production, right? What we call it production. What are you doing? You're building something. You're building something. I could be busy doing absolutely nothing. I could be busy watching TV, right? I could be busy, just laying down, twiddling my thumbs. That's busy. I'm doing something in action, right? But what am I doing? Nothing gets done. So again, there's a difference between being busy and being productive. Usually when you say I'm lacking time, what you really mean is you lack clear and straightforward priorities. Let me say that one again. That's important. What you're really saying is that you lack straightforward priorities. Having clear priorities is paramount. It's paramount to breaking the never enough time cycle. You must have clear priorities. We make hundreds of choices every day pertaining to how we spend our time. But ask yourself, is this commitment or activity going to get me closer to my goals? If the answer isn't yes, then move on. Stop doing that activity. Stop engaging in that commitment. All right? Number 4, time keeps getting in your way. Never enough time. And how many times have we always said, if I only had, God gives us 24 hours, 8 hours to sleep, the rest of the time to do what you need to do. Oh my God, if I just had more time, how much more time do you need? Think about that. How much more time do you need? So don't let time be an issue for being an underachiever and not reaching your full potential. Don't let time be that issue. And last but not least, number 5. Number 5, you're relying on others to validate you rather than trusting in your heart. You're relying on others to validate you rather than trusting in your heart. It's important to you that others give you the okay to move forward in your dreams. That's important to you. If this is your thought. If it doesn't come from them, then you hesitate to move forward. You got to have somebody to always be there to give you that okay, give you that praise. You feel inadequate if others don't praise you for your work or effort. That's how you feel sometimes. You lack motivation if others are not involved because you don't want to be alone. You don't want to make a decision. If it flops, then you can't blame anybody else. You can't blame anybody. Oh, wow, if I hadn't asked DrBenny how to do that, and if I hadn't asked her, I would have been okay. But she told me to do so and so and so and so, and I did that, and it's a flop. It was a flop. We got to get out of that. All right? You don't need anyone to validate you. You don't need that. If you know in your heart that you've been called to do something and you have something in your heart to do, then take that step, put one foot in front of the other, and move forward and move toward that thing. So what's the solution of not always needing validation? The first thing you want to do is begin to visualize yourself accomplishing your dreams. Visualize yourself accomplishing your dream. Dreaming is a powerful tool. It's okay to dream, to visualize, daydream. See yourself in that arena that you see what you want to see yourself. Maybe you want to be a world traveler. Maybe you have a mission to help to build those wells in countries where there's no water. See yourself doing that. See yourself doing that. Maybe you want to be a speaker, an international speaker. Maybe you want to be a bestseller. See yourself doing those things. See yourself having book signings. Visualize those things. You don't need anybody to validate that. You've already been validated. The mere fact that you're on this earth, remember we talked about that. The mere fact that you're taking up space, the mere fact that you have a dream, that validates you. And if you begin to dream and dream big, we talked about that, dreaming bigger, God will send help. Anything that he will validate, anything that he gives you to do, he is going to validate it and supply what you need. He shall supply all of your needs according to his riches and glory in Christ Jesus. When he guides, he will provide. So you do not need anybody to validate you. The other one is to take small steps accomplishing your task. Take small steps as you go towards your dream. Take small steps to accomplish your task. All right? Whatever that might be, take small steps. So how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. That's the old cliche. How do you eat an elephant? He's a big animal. How do you eat him? One small bite at a time. Anything you do in life, you don't want to leap for it. You want to take steps towards it. If you're trying to climb a mountain, you don't leap and jump on the mountain. You climb 1 foot over the other. You're climbing. You're reaching one step over the other, one reach over the other. And you're taking your time. You're going with caution. That's how you do it. And then the last one is you want to connect with people who are positive, not for validation, but for good advice. Remember I shared with you all last week, the word of God tells us that there's safety in a multitude of counsel. These people don't validate you, but they give you wise counsel. You always want to look before you leap. You don't want to just get into something because you want to do something. Do your research. Seek out people who've already been there and done that, who have found success in doing what you're dreaming to do. You may say, well, I want to be an author, Dr. T. How do you go about doing it? Call me. Call Tony. We can tell you how to do it. That's our expertise. We can show you how to do those things. Don't just step out and try to do something. Do your research. Do your research. So the last one is you're relying on others to validate you rather than trusting in your heart. Trust in your heart. Trust in God. He says to trust him and to lean not unto your own understanding, but in all thy ways to acknowledge him, and he will direct your path. He's the only validation that you need. The only thing people will do is serve to help you, to assist you, to counsel you, and you need some help on your way. But you don't need their stamp of approval before you go forth and do what God has called you to do. I've just shared 5 areas or 5 warning signs that you may be an underachiever or you're underachieving. All these things may not pertain to you, and that's fine. It might be one, it may be none. But if you are facing some of the things I just shared with you, then take the time to make an effort to change, because all of us have a mandate. Nobody should want to live a mediocre life. I don't want to. Don't let the grave have your potential. This is a time, these are perilous times. And God has given each of us an assignment to make this world a better place. I used to always tell my mother, she would always tell me that, sometimes I would be in my bed. I was a little girl, 9 and 10 years old, and I would lay on my back and I would cry. I would look up at the ceiling and I would talk to God. And when my mom came into the room, she would say, Tunishai, why are you crying? I said, Mommy, I just want to change the world. I'm a little kid. I just want to make a difference, Mommy. And she said, sweetheart, you can't change the world. You can't do that. She said, but Mommy, I can do my part. And all God is asking you to do is to do your part. He's not asking you to change the world. Even Jesus Christ had disciples. He had help. But if you put yourself in a position that you want to make an impact And you put yourself in a position where you make up in your mind that you do not want to be mediocre, but you want to fulfill and walk in your full potential, you do it. Let go of all the excuses. Stop coasting along. Stop making excuses. Stop being distracted by the drama. Stop saying that you don't have enough time. And stop relying on others to validate you rather than trusting in your heart. And you'll be well on your way to reaching your potential and becoming the best version of yourself. I'm Dr. T, and thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Wow, 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 wow. Astonishing, amazing, Dr. T. Thank you for nailing it, my darling sister.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is part 1. Hello, people. In advance, just know, next week, she's going to bring us part 2. If part 1 is this sweet, can you imagine what part 2 will be like? Oh, salt and sugar, yummy for my tummy. All right, our brother Ian is coming back. So at the beginning of Dr. T's presentation, it said take a pen and paper and make notes. And from my notes that I had, I don't know why I'm echoing. Okay. All those things you mentioned, I'm guilty of all of them. And I know some of us are as well. But the excuse for everything, I don't know. Everything seemed to be, it's difficult to be perfect. It's very difficult. That's the way I see it. You try hard. The harder you try, the more difficult it is to get to your potential. But anyway, we were making notes, each and every one of us who were listening. And I see Dr. T, you have a wonderful group of followers. Each time you speak, Pastor Coleman's hand is always up first. Isn't that amazing? And
I pay her, right? Hey, I pay her to do that, right?
No, you don't.
I pay her. Raise your hand. Raise your hand, Tony. I pay her.
Excellent.
Dr. Derek paying for us to be here? No. So I would not say yes to that. That's on. Well, she's your assistant, but maybe she's volunteering. That part of it, we don't need to know, but it's just awesome having
No,
her.
I'm not volunteering. But excellent presentation, Dr. T.
Yeah, welcome. And the microphone is yours, Pastor Tony.
Thank you. Excellent presentation, Dr. T. And yeah, I could chime in on a lot of those points. And yeah, I thank God because you bring out so much and make us aware of a lot of things that may be happening that we may not always be aware of, or even how to address or deal with those things. And I thank God for you for bringing a lot of that out, because I find myself sometimes checking out, so to speak, when I'm trying to get things done and your mind just isn't there, and or you can't quite figure out stuff that you ought to know. And even in the area of being afraid to step forth unless you have someone to hold your hand or reassure you, and then sometimes that doesn't really always help, because as soon as you get it, you lose it. And so I get all that, and I thank God for you bringing that out and showing us what we need to do in order to combat those things. So I appreciate you, Dr. T.
Praise God. May I say this before you acknowledge Queen JW? Let me just say this because I want to make this real clear. I gave you 5 warning signs to start. I'm talking about a lifestyle. I'm not talking about every now and then you feel like that. We all coast along at some time in our life. We all go through that. I'm talking about there's people who lack ambition. I'm talking about people who don't really want anything. They just coast along in life. And all the other points that I gave. So I'm not talking about an occasional coasting along. I'm not talking about an occasional making excuses. I'm talking about people who actually live this lifestyle. That's why I made the statement that you might be guilty of one or none. Some of you may say, well, that's not me at all. I'm good. Okay. And that's wonderful if that's you. And it's possible to be that way because maybe you have been that way in the past and you've mastered these things and that's not you anymore. But maybe one of these things or 2 of these things, or maybe all 5 of these things, you realize that this is an issue. I am one of those people who need validation. There's so many things I wanted to do, but I didn't get the validation, so I didn't do it. I am one of those people that's always making excuses. I had opportunities to do so many things. You might be saying this to yourself, but I didn't go through that door because I had excuses. I'm talking about a lifestyle. I'm not talking about, an occasional. I'm talking about when you look at your life, you're guilty of this all of the time. You're a drama queen or a drama king. Every time something goes on, something going on, you got to be the go-to person. You get a thrill out of that. Ooh, wow. And all it does is take you away from what you're supposed to be doing because you like the drama. Somehow something on you just feeds on the drama. I don't know what it is, but you feed on it. It's your excuse for not doing what you're supposed to do. So I'm talking about a lifestyle. I'm not talking about an occasional. I'm talking about a lifestyle. And if you're guilty of that, that's why I brought this message. Not to say, well, you did it occasionally, every now and then. No, I'm talking about this is part of your DNA. And these are things you have to change. So I just wanted to bring clarity to that. Okay? I hope that helped, Queen Debbie. I hope that helped.
It helped a lot, Dr. T. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Very, very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Queen Pastor Tony, and I see Queen JW's hand is up. Queen JW, can I call on Dr. Benny before you?
Yes, you can.
Thank you. Dr. Benny, please.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you guys are seeing my face, right? Or maybe you don't need to see. You don't need to see my face. Okay. Thank you, Queen Debbie, for giving me this opportunity. I really appreciate you. I want to take this special moment to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing each and everyone this evening, this morning. Some people are sleeping at the moment, right? But they decided to come here. This morning, evening, it all depends upon your location. I really thank you all. The reason I'm thanking you is because there are a lot of webinars around at the moment, but you decided to come and listen to our Dr. T. Because there's something that she always say, or she teaches us, this amazing mindset for us to learn. This particular webinar is for us to come and learn. That is it, nothing else. I want to thank our Heavenly Father for bringing Mr. Ash Mufere to you and I. But most of the time I said, if you guys have the time, let us pray for him. If you do have the time. The reason I want you guys to pray is because of the challenges that he is facing at the moment. You guys know that he always say, do or die. Either I do or I die. He is willing. His main goal is to help you and I to also achieve our goals. There are a lot of us in Africa, all over the globe, that we are suffering. God told him to do something and he accepted it. So he is determined. He will fight. And that is why I think Dr. T sometimes say that we should be patient, right? We have to be patient. Anybody who is angry to go can go. But our main goal, his main goal is to help humanity. So if you have the time, please, if you want to kneel down and pray for him, do that if you want to. But let us pray for his sanity. He is going to do it, and it's going to work. Thank you, Dr. T. I really appreciate you with this amazing, should I say extraordinary mindset based upon the 10 warning signs that may be underachieving. I really appreciate you. There are a lot of things I would say that I am undergoing too, but one important thing, but everything is important, that you should connect with like-minded people. I will learn to do that. Seriously, I will learn to do that. It's very important. Positive, you want to connect with positive people. That is it. You don't want any negative person to put you down. Thank you, Dr. T. I mean, I'm not going to say all the 5, but I really appreciate you. And I pray to hear from you again next week.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Benny. Thank you.
Yes, please. Thank
you,
Queen
Dr.
Debbie.
Benny.
Yes,
Appreciate
please.
it. Queen JW, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm still here. Good evening to everyone. Good evening.
Good evening and
Queen
welcome.
Debbie. Appreciate you. The host with the most, Dr. Derek. Amazing platform. And the brand ambassadors and Queen Dr. Benny. Appreciate you also. Amazing. Dr. T, as always, you always deliver. You always say what we need, just what we need. And even if we heard it sometime in the past before, we still need to hear it over and over and over again. Because sometimes we get lost, sometimes we get stuck. And it's not a good place to be when you get stuck. But I can relate, you know, when you said you got to know what your why is. And why? Because some of us probably is not aware, but it's something that you can do without going to school or have to think about, something that comes so easy and natural to you. And that's something, and that's how you can find out what your why is. That's just one of the ways I know of that you can figure it out, you know, at least have an idea what it is, and then you can decide if you want to pursue it or not. And also surrounding ourselves with like-minded people. You know, it's you got to say thank God for this amazing deep dive webinar that we can come every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Sunday, and we got so many other webinars in between. But here has been our learning platform for the past 2 to 3 years for me anyway, and more for others. So it's surrounding yourself is very important. I remember a time when I was going to this place, and I was, you know, it was a place that I thought I could just hang out and just be myself. But the more I was there, the more I saw that people were not going anywhere, and I knew that they couldn't teach me anything. And that's how you know that it's time to move out. Just check out your surroundings. Check out what the people are talking about. Check out what they're doing. And if they're not like-minded like you, or you would want them to be, then it's time to move out and get new friends, build a new community, you know? So Dr. T, we really appreciate you for bringing those 5 to us. And we look forward to hearing the rest of them also, because I know each and every one of them is important. So thank you so much for caring for us and loving us.
Thank you, Queen JW. We appreciate you as well. And I don't see any other hand raised. So once more, Dr. T, we appreciate you, and you know, we look forward to having part 2 of this awesome presentation. Dr. Derek, are you in the house? You have any comment for Dr. T before we move forward to our next item for the night? Oh, all right. I see Komlan Icy. I don't know if it's a man or woman. Welcome. Please go ahead and speak. And thank you.
Hello. How
Hello,
everybody?
welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. I do appreciate T information development, but I do have one question for her. I don't know if everything is wonderful, but she talks about discern what you are doing if it's part of your life. Can she explain a little bit what is the discernment for us, please? How we can discern as, amen, I'm walking, how I can know that the work I'm doing is part of my life. You know, just want a little bit explication about that, because the word discernment is a big word. That is the question I have.
Okay, and that's a valid question. How you know that you're walking in your assignment? You know, it's about knowing yourself. God gives us all gifts and abilities that we inherit, you know, when we're in our mother's womb, as we're growing, as we're developing. Oftentimes, when we're called, when we have an assignment from God, it's like a strong unction. It's something that only you can experience, you know. Comland. Am I pronouncing it right? Am I pronouncing it right? Is it Comland? Am I pronouncing that right? I don't mean to insult you. Okay.
Comland is correct.
Okay.
It's correct.
Okay. When you know, it's like a strong unction. You know, you have different. God is not going to take you outside of what He's already put inside of you. Okay. It's like if a person, if you know as a child that you're a natural born leader, it just comes natural to you. Or if you know as a child that you can draw well, if you know that as a child that you can sing well, or you may be one of those people that has a very photographic memory, or other things, He's showing you different giftings. And there's so many different arenas that you can go into. I'll give you a perfect example. I saw the movie Reagan. Okay, and Ronald Reagan. And he was our 40th president. And, you know, he started, those of you who may know who he is, if you've been here any time, at the time, he used to be a movie star. He used to be a lifeguard, but everything he did, he was always in a position where he was a leader. He was up front. He was always the leading star, a leading man, okay? As a lifeguard, he was saving lives. He did everything that God was leading him to, it always reflected what was already in him. And then he got to the place where he was concerned about what was going on in the country, what was going on in other countries. And he had a heart, he had a burning and a yearning for that. So it's a yearning that God puts in you. All right. And you have two voices, the voice in your heart, that's that yearning, that's God, the Spirit talking to you, and that voice in your head, that's the one that says, oh, you can't do that. Well, that's too big for you. Sometimes you have to ignore that voice. I always tell people, when your head and your heart are on one accord, leap, run, do it. But to answer your question clearly is that when you have that strong unction and you can't fight it, you can no longer put it down. It's something that you have to do. And it might be something as well, like Reagan. When he was a governor, he realized that he had power, but not the power to make the kind of change that he wanted to make. So he had to run for president. He made a statement. He said, if I become president of the United States, I'll have the power to make the changes I want to make. For someone like you, whatever that might be, God is already put in your heart. You have to listen to that voice. You have to ignore the negativity and listen to the voice and look at that thing that's already driving you. It's something on the inside that's always driving all of us. Like me, it's like, I just want to transform. I just want to empower people. I just want to make sure that my own life lines up with that. So I know that. Now the particulars of that calling, that's something that God, where you have to listen to that still quiet voice and let God lead you. But the big picture, you already know. It's just a matter of you tapping into it and acknowledging it. Okay, your assignment, that's what you call the discernment. You already know, it's already on the inside of you. God is not going to put something in you new. He's already given you every tool you need. Like he asked Moses, what do you have in your hand? He didn't give Moses, he didn't say to Moses was a shepherd. He didn't say, Moses, go out there and get a slingshot. Well, he used David. What did David have in his hand? A slingshot. He couldn't even wear the armor. He couldn't even hold a sword in the armor. He already had a slingshot. Do you understand what I'm saying? Everything you need to accomplish what God has called you to do is already in you. You have to just, when I say discern, that means that you have to listen and be true to yourself and stop allowing the cares of the world, the things I just mentioned to you, the 5 areas I just mentioned to you, to control your destiny. That's the reason why I brought this message. So I hope I answered your question. That's how you discern. It's the strong unctioning, and you feel it. You have to feel it. He deals with all of us the same way. You may say, well, I don't know what God called me to do. No, maybe you don't know all the particulars. But if you get quiet and develop that relationship with him, he wants you to know. He's not trying to withhold that from you. He's not trying to keep any secrets from you. He wants you to know because he's giving you an assignment. So I hope that answered your question. I hope I helped.
Wonderful.
Okay, thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Merci, mon frère, et bienvenue.
Je vous en prie.
D'accord, à plus tard. Alors.
Oui.
All right, brother Ian, I see your hand up. Long time.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for taking my hands up. You know, when I listen to what Dr. T just said, I have to raise my hand because I don't want to praise myself, but I find the same value in me. And, you know, like every job I go to, every organization that I'm into, I don't want to, but people sees the potential in me to put me to the top. You understand what I'm saying? People see the potential, even if I am denying it, to say, you know what, I don't want that promotion. They are pushing me to take that promotion, pushing me to be a supervisor, pushing me at the head of the head of the pack. And even if I try to deny it, it's like the power in me is saying, listen me, you are not in charge. I am. So go, you can do it. So don't stay back. Go to the front. Do it. Lead the pack. You understand? Hey, trust me, I never want to raise my hand, but I said, you know what? I see those values, and I'm not praising myself. But I'll tell you, if I'm in an organization and it has to do with money, they look at me, they say, Ian, you are handling the money. If I'm in a crowd, a family, anything, they want me to lead, to organize, to do all of the. Dr. Derek can tell you, once we had Dr. Derek was coming down in something down in my area, and he called upon me. He said, Ian, I want to have a meet and greet. Organize something. Right away, I could go ahead and organize it. Ask Dr. Derek, when he come down, everything is already organized, set up, ready to rock and roll. So, trust me, I love that, Dr. T. I love that. Trust me. Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah, thank you.
And the mere fact that you recognize that, it's even something greater for you. See, God is already prepping you. I mean, let me look at that. You talked about every time you go somewhere, but see, even what you're doing, and when I make this statement, please don't take it offensively because that's not my heart. You're not even living your full potential, because God is showing you that He's exalting you. There's something even greater.
Yeah.
Something even greater, but you got to be open to that. He's letting you know, I'm giving you the tools. You have the tool. You're a natural born leader. I've called you. You are an influencer.
Yeah.
You're an influencer. So I'm going to put you. So when that door opens up, Ian, walk through it with boldness. Don't make any excuses.
True. I agree.
Don't make any excuses.
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
1,000%.
1,000% and more. Thank you.
Yes. Praise God. That's wonderful.
Wow. Brother Ian, thank you so much.
What I love for her also is this word. She said, do your part. You cannot change the world, but do your part. That is very important. As human beings, we like to change the world, but we cannot. We have to do our parts and let the Holy Spirit change the world.
Yes.
That's good things. I do appreciate that. Do
Thank
your
you.
part.
Do your
Thank
part.
you.
Do your part. Yes.
Amen. You said it all, Brother Comlan. Thank you all. I'll say we're ending this segment right now with Dr. T, and be ready for part 2. Yes, Dr. Benny.
Yes, please. I just want to piggyback on Mr. Cole, Mr. Comlan, that you should do your part. I believe it is also stated that most of the time we just sit and we pray, right? Now, if you pray, now you are expecting God to do something for you. Let's give an example. If you don't go to school or you don't go to work, how do you expect? God has already given you everything. Now it all depends upon you if you want to do it, right, Dr. T?
That's right. He's already given you the tools.
Thank you.
Praise God.
All right, Queen Debbie, proceed.
Thank you very much, Dr. Benny. Oh my goodness. What I just did is I got a notification, Dr. Benny, as I was about getting ready to introduce you, and I checked my email. I will share it saying my social security number is on the dark web. So I'm going to stop it there. And I will say we're moving to the next segment of the webinar. And I want to introduce our speaker, the one and only First Lady of ONPASSIVE that we know is with us on this forum every Tuesday and every Thursday, and on our sister webinars as well. Her name is the one and only Dr. Benny Intinglet, a cybersecurity specialist whose background is just outstanding in every area you can imagine. Her specialty is not beatable, and she is also certified in 9 areas of information technology. We are honored and blessed to have Dr. Benny present to us every week on cybersecurity. Today, she has another unique special topic to share with us. I'm a victim just a few minutes ago of something that she has been telling us, but we'll find a way. When there's a will, there's a way. It's going to work out, but let's open our ears, make notes on what she has to share with us for today. Dr. Benny, we appreciate you. Welcome, and the microphone is yours.
Wow. Queen Debbie, what make you to talk about dark web today? Did you know that I was going to say something about dark web?
It just came. I just got a notification.
Sure. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to say something a little bit about the dark web. But I want each and everyone to know that despite the fact that Queen Debbie always talk about certification, in America, United States of America, if you do not have certification, you may have all the doctors, it's nothing. If you don't have the cert, you cannot get a job. I am serious. At least the lowest to us is Security Plus. So when Queen Debbie always talk about, oh, I have 9 sets. If you want to know, you can go and search about me, and you will notice that all my certifications are active. If it wasn't active, I would not have the clearance. I don't play. In this country, you're not supposed to play games. So today, I am going to talk about hacking, despite the fact that we have talked about hacking. Now, hackers may have stolen your social security. That is the topic. Can you believe? Hackers may have stolen your social security number in a massive breach. Queen Debbie talked about dark web. The dark web is a part of internet that isn't indexed by search engine. You have no doubt heard about it or talk about it. People don't know much about the dark web. Researchers Daniel Moore and Thomas Reed, they went to this school in London, college in London, which is classified as the content of 2,723 live dark website over a 5-week period. This thing happened in 2015. All right. When it comes to hacking, a hacker is a person, right, who breaks into the computer system. Now, the reason for hacking, it can be many: installing malware, stealing, or destroying data, because that's what is happening nowadays. They try to destroy your information, disruptive services, and more. Hacking can also be done for ethical reasons, such as trying to find software vulnerabilities. And when I talk about vulnerabilities, it means weaknesses, right? Now, hacking is the use of unusual, illicit means to gain unauthorized. The person is not authorized to touch your information, which means he is doing everything to steal your information, to access your digital services, the computer system, or computer network. So this classic example is a cyber criminal, right? Who exploit what? The security vulnerabilities to break into networks and steal all the data within this country or wherever you are. I'm gonna just give me a minute, right? Now, in a scenario where hackers may have stolen your social security number in a massive breach, it is crucial to take immediate action to mitigate, or when I talk about mitigation, is to minimize the severity of potential risk. And in order for you to protect yourself for identity theft, remember, we have been talking about identity theft, right? For financial fraud. So I'm going to give you some few things for each and everyone to consider for you and I to monitor your financial accounts, identity theft protection. You freeze your credit card, report the incidents if anything occur, update your social practice, and then stay informed. I'm going to share my screen, but before I share my screen, if I want you guys to stay informed, which means that you want to stay informed for the latest development regarding what the breach and any actions that you need to take in order to protect your information. Remember, being proactive and vigilant, right, in safeguarding your personal information, it is crucial today in today's digital war. So by taking these proactive war measures, you can help to minimize a potential impact of what? The data breach on your personal and financial well-being. Give me a minute. I do understand there are a lot of people who would like me to share my screen. Thank you so much. All right. Brother Carlton, are you saying it right?
Mommy, remember?
Yes.
Yep. Got it.
You like this? I'm really surprised how you knew about this dark web stuff. Okay, no problem. So I'm just going to give you an overview. So a new lawsuit is claiming hackers have gained access to a personal information of billions of individuals. So people are suffering out there. Now, including their social security numbers, current and past addresses, and the names of siblings, parents, personal data that could allow what? Imposter to intrude into your financial accounts or take out loans in your name. Now, the allegation arose in a lawsuit filed earlier this month by Christopher Hoffman. He is from California. So he claimed his identity theft protection service alerted him that his personal information had been leaked to a dark web. Queen Debbie, dark web, by the National publicdata.com breach. The lawsuit was earlier reported by who? Bloomberg Law. Dark web. So I'm going to give you a definition of this dark web. A dark web is a part of the internet that isn't indexed by search engine. You have no doubt heard of the dark web as a center of what? Criminal activities. That's why the dark web is all about. Researcher Daniel, I didn't do the research, but I got it from Daniel Moore and Thomas Reid of King College in London. They classify the content of 2,723 live dark website over a 5-week period in 2015 and found out that 57% lost illicit material. So a study of this web profit conducted by Dr. Michael at the University of Surrey shows that things have become worse. The number of dark web listings that could harm an enterprise has risen by 20% from 2016 to 2019. All the listings, excluding those selling drugs, 60% could potentially what? Harm the enterprise. All right. The hacking group, U.S. Department of Defense, claimed it had alleged stolen personal record of 2.9 billion people from national public data. This is what is happening. A lawsuit filed in what? The U.S. District Court in Florida. And do you know that it happens this year in April? Yes, it did. Now, the National Public Data, it is what? It is a company based in Florida that provide background check for employers. I believe maybe they check my own too. I don't know. Investigators and other businesses that want to check people's background. Now, its searches include what? Criminal records, vital records, social security trace, and more information, as well as the website says. So, according to the new law, the United Department of Defense on April 8 posted a database called National Public Data. I have never heard this. National Public Data on the dark web, claiming to have record about this amount, but it was asking for a purchase price of 3.5 million. The lawsuit claimed, however, alerting the computer reported that the file was later leaked for free on a hacker forum, as noted above. In fact, information and belief, the vast majority of the class members were unaware that their sensitive, which is the personal information, has been compromised. It has been compromised. That and continue to be at a significant risk. Identity what? Theft and various other forms of personal, social, and financial harm the lawsuit claim. However, the National Public Data posted on an alert about the breach on its website, stating that it believed the information breach include what? Names, our email addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, and mailing addresses. So can you find out if your data was part of the hack? Let's find out. There are tools available that will monitor the information about you in the dark web. So one such service is Hal Huffman, who filed a lawsuit, found out that his information has been leaked as part of NPD breach. So make sure to use reputable companies to look that up. Blair said, you have to look for reputable companies if you found out that your information has been leaked or stolen. All right, so security experts recommend that consumers put freeze on their credit file at 3 big credit bureaus. You guys can see it, Equifax and the rest. Now, freezing your credit is free and will stop bad actors from taking out loans or opening credit cards in your name. So if you freeze it, right? So the biggest thing is to freeze your credit report. So it can't be used to open new accounts in your name and commit other fraud in your name. All right. So it is this statement on NPD also urge you and I, people like you and I, to put free fraud alert on our accounts, which tells the creditors to contact you before they open any new accounts or change your existing account. So, Sterner recommended that consumers take several additional steps to protect their data and finances. Make sure your password are at least 16 characters. Now, you guys notice that I've always talked about characters, that you should not just, let me say, if you want to write any of your password, it should not just be 5 words, 5 characters. It should be at least more than 10. Now, look at what Stenher said. He is saying that the password should be at least 16 characters in length, and it should be what? Complex. Use a password manager to save those long, complex passwords. Enable multi-factor authentication, right? And because simply using a single password to access your account isn't enough protection against hackers. Hackers will do anything to steal your information. Be on alert for phishing and other scams. You guys notice I've always been talking about phishing, right? The phishing emails. So phishing emails is one red flag, which the scammers would try to do anything to create a sense of urgency to manipulate any of the victims, right? Keep your security software updated on your computer. There is always an update that the manufacturer sent to everybody. But I noticed that a lot of people don't notice it. But please, if an update occurs, I would like you guys to install it. You update your computer as well as any other devices. For instance, make sure you download the latest security updates from Microsoft or Apple onto your app and devices. It is very important to do that. You can also get a tracking service that will alert you if your data appears on a dark web. It's a reminder for the importance of protecting yourself, because clearly companies and the government aren't doing it for us. Who said it? Stenhouse said it. I didn't say it. He told CBS Money Watch, right? So, in conclusion, free your credit. Consider placing what? A freeze on your credit report to prevent what? Unauthorized individual from opening new accounts in your name. Report the incidents, right? Report the breach to the necessary authorities, such as FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, and your local law enforcement. You have to always update your social security practice by reviewing and strengthening your online security practice, such as using strong password. Your password has to be unique, enabling two-factor authentication, and being cautious when it comes to phishing attempt. Stay informed. How? By the latest development regarding the breach and any other actions you need to take to protect your information. Remember that being proactive and vigilant is a safe way in order for you and I to safeguard our personal information, which is very crucial in today's digital world. By taking a proactive measure, you can help minimize potential impact of a data breach on your personal financial well-being. In the scenario where hackers may have stolen your social security number in a massive breach, it is crucial to take immediate action in order for you to mitigate potential risk and protect yourself from identity theft. One thing you have to do is to monitor your financial accounts. Regular monitoring of your bank account. To tell the truth, I do not do it, but I will start monitoring my own bank account. Credit card statement, please monitor your credit card, because the hackers can steal your credit card, purchase something online. You will not know about it. So if you are vigilant and you know about what is going on with your credit card or with your bank account, you can alert the bank immediately, right? For fraudulent activities. Now we have identity theft protection. Consider enrolling in identity theft protection services that can help dictate or alert you on suspicious activities related to their personal information. Just to let each and everyone know that these hackers are doing everything. What can you do? I just want you all to be vigilant in protecting your personal information. Take precautions as well. And I would say, this is where I got my information from. Hackers may have stolen your social security numbers. What is the dark web? And you have 2.9 billion records stolen in a social security data hack. It was claimed by the United States of Department of Defense in usatodays.com. I want to thank each and everyone listening to me. I want you and I to be vigilant. Take care of everything that is happening within your credit card. Check your bank account. Check your bank account, check your credit card, because you don't know what is happening out there. I want to thank you all for listening. It is important, right? Update your social security practice, review and strengthen your online security practice, such as what I said is your strong password, right? Your password has to be unique. It has to be different from mine. I want to thank you all for listening. Take good care of yourself. Take good care of your credit cards. Take good care of your bank account. Again, thank you for giving me this opportunity. Dr. Derek, thank you for the platform. Thank you, Queen Debbie. I appreciate you. Dark Web, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. So sweet. Today is just, every day is very unique, but today is so sweet because I'm a victim. Check your WhatsApp, and that then you can answer my question, because this topic today has really touched. Fortunately, that's one of my employers. ID Care is the State Department's person that sent the alert. They sent me 3 alerts. So I've been, anyway. Yeah, I wanted you to see that. And when it happened, you're just about to present, and I just said, what is this alert? They want me to look at it right away. And I didn't even know you're going to talk about it today. So it's nighttime. What would you advise a victim like me? I know what I'm supposed to do. I know how to do it, but that notification just came. I'm sure if I wait until tomorrow to act on it, it wouldn't be too late, right?
I think there's the number for FTC for you to call them.
Yes, they did send the number to me as well.
Could you please call them immediately if you after this, just to check what the...
Yeah, I am as scared as hell. I will give them a call. As soon as we're done here, I'll give them a call. Thank you for that awesome presentation. Very much appreciated. I know where it's coming from. I know who monitors my credit, and that's a very valid company that monitors all our credits for all of us. So for them to share that information, it means it's serious business. Because my clearance is such that I shouldn't really be where that is. So I don't know. I will give them a call. I wanted to call earlier, but I couldn't. I didn't want to interrupt this to stop and go. But I'm going to work on it and update you. Thank you.
Take care of your business, Queen Debbie.
Please.
And have no fear. God is with you.
Thank you, Queen JW. At the beginning of the presentation of Dr. Benny's presentation, I had suggested that you should make notes. And for those who were listening, this is a time for questions and discussions for Dr. Benny. Please, my first question was my personal thing, which she's answered. So I'm going to work on it as soon as I get off the platform here. Queen Violet, good evening and welcome. It's such an honor having you. Please, you can go ahead and proceed.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'm using a phone, so I never know what's happening with this thing.
It's okay.
I have a WhatsApp account, and recently I have been noticing that people are leaving phone numbers that I know nothing about, And they're saying, let me see if I can go there. I'm getting phone numbers, and if I click on them, and they're like area code 62, whatever that is. And it says Evangeline Jania, phone number from the United States. It says no common groups, not a contact, and wait for this message. This may take a while. And it says learn more, but I refuse to go on there because who knows what it's going to tell me and connect me. So I've got 3 of them right now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Of these people, all I know is her name is Ruby, and at the bottom it says block or add.
Block.
Okay. Okay, report sent to. Okay, apparently they send a report. Okay, thank you. Just wanted to know because they're weird. So much stuff here.
Yes.
How do they get your phone number?
Dark web. The hackers
yeah.
are doing everything, stealing your information, selling it out there to make money and then to hurt you.
Not nice.
No, it's not.
Okay, thank you very much. I will continue to block all these people.
Block everything. You don't even know the individual.
I don't know. I don't. The phone
Block
number
it.
is.
Don't even respond.
No, I don't respond.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, my dear.
I don't know how to get off now. You're going to have to unmute me or mute me.
Sure.
That was easy. Thank you, Queen Violet, and I'm glad that you were able to have an answer to your concern. And Queen JW's hand is up. Over to you, Queen JW.
Yes, Dr. Benny, amazing, amazing again, webinar, presentation. You always do it. You always give us exactly what we need. And that about protecting, some of us might think, well, no one has sent me anything, so maybe my account, my information is not there. No, they probably never got to us as yet. So you don't never know with the hackers because this is their life. This is their job. This is their career. This is how they make a living. This is how they live. And they're living large. So they don't expect to go and live small again. So they have to keep up their appetite and at others' expense, and they don't care. So let's take Dr. Benny and even Queen Debbie, we have I remember King Vital also. Several of the brand ambassadors already had this experience of being hacked, and it's not a nice feeling. Sometimes you lose your whole identity and you have to come up with a name and everything all over again. It's just like turning your whole world upside down. So Queen Dr. Benny, I just want to say thank you so much for bringing that information about the dark web. They name it correctly because dark just means wickedness and ugliness that goes on. And that's what hackers are. They're like from the pit of hell, just come to deceive and hurt people. And most of all, your identity and your pocket. So your finances and your identity gone. Killing 2 birds with 1 stone? No, I don't think so. So let's take heed. I'm glad you talk about freezing our credit files because that's one place to stop them from taking out loans and outer loans and home loans on us, on our identity, on our accounts. So let's and making our passwords stronger and longer. Write it down in a safe place. Don't put it on your phone. You know, and I'll be so glad that Ash, our CEO, is going to have building his own database where we won't have to worry about our information getting. We just in the right place at the right time for all this that is going on. So thank you so much, Queen Dr. Benny. We appreciate you. We love you, and thanks for caring.
Queen Jacqueline, thank you so much. Let me tell you, the person who gave me this topic, Queen Dr. Nadu.
Wow, wow.
She told me about stolen Social Security. And then Queen Debbie just said something about dark web.
Yep. Oh my
So when
Lord.
I did my research about this Social Security, I saw dark web. And then when she came and said dark web, I said, how did she know that I was going to say something about dark web?
Wow, wow, wow. That is really needed, though. A very important topic. Short and brief and straight to the point. And if nobody got it tonight, then we're definitely sleeping. But we need to wake up, because identity theft is no joke. And I know of people who's living large on other people's credit cards, driving nice cars. You hear me? And going in big places, 3 stories, and having big parties, offer other people money. So don't think it's not happening. It's happening.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, please. Queen
Thank you, Queen JW. We appreciate you very much.
We appreciate all of you.
All right. Mon frère, bienvenue une fois encore. Allez-y, s'il vous plaît. Brother Komlan. Brother Komlan.
Okay, Dr. Benny, thank you for the information you share with us. My question is, with AI, those hackers, they will have job in the future?
Oh yes. You know, when you're a hacker, some companies may hire you because being let's give an example. I am I'm certified. I'm a certified ethical hacker. So I have to learn how to hack. So if I know how to hack, then I know how to protect. So they need those type of people out there. Okay, Mr. Cole? Yes, they do. A lot of them. There is a young boy that they hired him because he knew how to hack. Hackers are out there. If they know that you can hack, you will know how to prevent other hackers from hacking into your system from the network part. Okay?
In the future, do we have hacker to hack our social security or our information?
Well, in the future, we will have them, but that is why I said you have to be vigilant.
Okay.
You notice what I told you from the beginning. You have to learn how to monitor your financial accounts, identity theft protection. You have to freeze your credit card. If you don't freeze it, now that you know that they can steal, what can you do? You just have to be vigilant, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice that something like this happened, where do you go? There is a number for FTC, Federal Trade Commission, that when anything happens, you can go online, you'll get it there, despite the fact that I banged there as well. They will protect you, they will help you somehow. But now that I'm talking, people don't understand why I believe Dr. Derek wants me to come here and do my research. It's like, just like Dr. T stated, that it is difficult every week for you to search for a topic, right? People don't know what I'm going to say the following week. It is very tough, but Sometimes you are searching for something that is going to occur. And what can we do? We need to be vigilant to protect ourselves. By me doing this research, I'm bringing to you guys, for you guys to know what is going on, in order for you to protect yourself from happening. Hackers will do anything. But if it happens, what do you do?
And that's what I say with intelligence artificial. If somebody hack you, the intelligence artificial will let you know.
And what do you do next?
If the person lets you know before, it's hard for us to know the person. But with intelligence artificial, you ask, they will show you the direction to go. And we will have a tractor, with all this, with all those things. I think the hacker will be only protector. I don't think they can hack anymore,
Very good, because we're going to have old tracker, right?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
We thank God for it, Mr. Ash Mufere.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Merci encore une fois de plus, notre frère. We have a question in the chat for you, Dr. Benny.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay. All right.
Hold on. Anyway, Queen.
It's the iPhone. Is that the question from the iPhone?
Yeah.
You're looking at?
Yes. How do
I freeze my credit?
How do you freeze your credit card? All right. In order for you to freeze your credit card, first you have to go to the credit bureau, right? Remember you guys found out that you saw me on my PowerPoint presentation. There were 3 companies that I listed. You will call them and oops, sorry, God, I'm sorry. Experian, Equifax, you call them and they will do it for you.
Yeah, and TransUnion as well.
Yes. You hear iPhone? If it happens, we can talk about it. All right. I will give you the phone number if you don't know. That is Queen. All right. Can you unmute? Let me say, can you unmute yourself? Sorry.
Am I on mute?
Yes, please. So in order for you to freeze your credit card, right?
Yes.
You have to contact, as I told you from the beginning, you contact these 3 major consumer credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. You request for when you call them, then you request for a credit freeze.
Yes.
Then they will ask you to provide your name, your address, date of birth, social security. You will submit the request separately. Yes. And my sister.
Okay, thank you.
You are very welcome.
Okay.
Are you satisfied?
Yes, thank you very much. I wasn't in all the time, so if you had said it before, I didn't hear.
It's okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I forgot her name, Dr. Benny.
Roseanne, Queen Roseanne.
Okay. Rosanna Badula.
I believe so. She's muted again. It's okay. Any other question, or I can read sister?
I was saying it's Alberta, not Roseanne.
Alberta.
Yes,
Alberta. Yes.
Roseanne and I are always together, but it's Alberta.
Thank you, man.
Yes.
So guess what? Queen Teda King says that each week, anyway, she said each week I share my heart and I do my research. So she made us to understand that security is very important. and we all should pay attention. Everyone should check their bank account, credit card each day. Make sure you have an alert on your phone from your banking institution so you can get notice right away. Thanks, Dr. Benny, for all that you do. This is from Queen Teta King. She knows what is happening, and she wants each and everyone to be very careful. Check your bank account, just like I stated from the beginning, for you to check your bank account, right? You can check your credit card. I don't check my bank account, but I am going to start checking my bank account. Thank you again, Queen Debbie, for this amazing opportunity.
Wow, Dr. Benny, thank you once more. Awesome topic every week. It's so unique, and we're honored and blessed that you are there for us, helping us to stay alert in terms of our little that we have, so bad people out there don't snatch it away from us. I don't see any hand up. I want to call on Dr.
Dr. Benny. Yeah, because sometimes we just talk. When we were paying our O-Connect, it was a lot of disturbance that people are taking more money than what they're supposed to take. And I went to my account to check how much the bank is taking out. Then I saw that there's 3 different fees that I had to pay, plus what O-Connect is cost. And I start explaining to people. That's all I know. I had to check my bank accounts and see if somebody is doing something there. Because when you check everything from my bank, when you pay one O-Connect, they charge you more than $15. Yeah. Transaction fee, whatever fee, 3 different fees. And if somebody sends you 143, that means you are adding those extra charges. And if you ask the person to complain it, the person will be complaining to other people that some people are charging more than what is supposed to be. So we had to be careful. We need a lot of information. We need to confirm and double check what is happening before we start spraying some rumor and make some people feel bad. Imagine if you are sponsoring 10 people and each of them you pay without knowing $16. How much are you losing? You can pay another account. Yeah. So we need to have those knowledge. Thank you for coming out and bring us information all the time so we can learn and be clever about everything that we are doing. Thank you. I really appreciate you, my sister, Dr. Benny.
Thank you, Queen Dr. Nadu. You gave me this topic. I had to go and do the research, and I'm happy that a lot of our brand ambassadors are happy as well. But people don't understand why we do all this research. The reason I think I am doing all this is because I believe I am preparing our brand ambassadors, our affiliates. Because when the time comes for you and I to start receiving these apples, you and I, we want to be vigilant to know what is happening out there, when it comes to the hackers? How can we do to prevent, to protect ourselves, to make sure that they don't touch our money? That is the reason why I am presenting something about cybersecurity, something about hacking, right? I want you and I to be vigilant. Take care of what? Your password. You guys heard that you're supposed to at least have 16 characters. But I wasn't saying that, right? I make you guys to understand that according to the National Institute of Standard and Technology, they gave us the recommendation that every 90 days, you should change your password. The characters, you should at least have 10 and up. But you guys found out today that you should have 16 characters. But when it comes to our OES, we cannot insert 16 characters. I think the highest should be 14, hopefully. But thank you, Queen Dr. Nadu. I appreciate you for the topic.
You are the one who did the work. Nami, thank you.
Thank you. Queen Debbie.
This is awesome. You're empowering one another. Isn't that nice? This is so good. You know, you pick the brain and then you have the challenges and then you live up to the challenge and then new ones come. That's what a good family does. You support one another. You empower each other. It is just amazing. You can only get that on Deep Dive and the sister forums. Maybe it's because I'm too used to it. I don't think I go to a lot of webinars anymore. Not because I don't want to, but the energy is draining. I'm not complaining. It's just an observation. Dr. Benny, thank you so much. Dr. Derek, do you have something, or we should wind down and call on Dr. T to give her final words, Dr. Benny to give her final words, and Dr. Derek, and then we can say thank you to our YouTube viewers. Dr. T, your final words, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you again. Dr. Derek, did you want to say something? Dr. Derek? Thank you. Yeah, praise God. Thank you.
Bestowed upon me when it comes down to cyber security. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Queen Eddie. You have been a blessings also on this webinar as the host with the most. You have been grinding for about 2 years now. So we have been hitting this thing for a while, you know. We have been hitting this thing for a while. So thank you also, Queen Debbie. Really appreciate. And so over back to you, Queen Debbie. Really appreciate.
Thank you so much, Dr. Derek. You know how to make ebony people blush with all those beautiful comments about everyone who is on the forum. It's not just for us, but for all the followers that we've been seeing here. all of you who are here and all of those who are listening and are always following on YouTube. Thank you to each and everyone. Dr. P, welcome. Your microphone is yours, Dr. P.
Yeah, sorry, my video is not on. I want to join my voice and echo what our king brother, Dr. Derek said. I will start by just saying that it has been an inspirational journey. Dr. Derek, it has been an inspirational journey of growth in every aspect. Holistically, mentally, spiritually, it has been an inspiration. Dr. Derek, I want to first of all thank you for your steadfast on all these platforms. Then for Queen Mama Debbie, even you're really the most, the host with the most, so the most, whatever they're saying this right, because she'll be in the jungle, she'll be in the pool, she'll be on the road, she'll be on the air, that she's making sure that the webinars are going. Thanks for all the coordination you do. Wow. For Queen Dr. Tunishai and Queen Jacqueline Warner and Sister Julie, Pastor Tony's, I know my sister Mama McCormick sometimes, my brother Jim McCormick, and I know in the gym team, Sister Loretto and Sister Yvonne Finn has joined. That mindset. Now, when we started, as Dr. Derek said, in 2021, we started the aspect of the mindset. Wow. There's some things that I would do and say, oh, Dr. T will not like me doing this. But that guilt is coming, right? Because you've learned some things. You've learned from them. Then not to talk about financially, from Queen Miriam budget to Dr. John. What aspect? Then not, First Lady, I was just, Dr. Derry, you were saying, I was like, wow, when I saw that 34, part 34, I said, divide that by 4, that's over 12 months. That's a year of steady education. We've got a whole course of cybersecurity for free. They're really, truly a First Lady. Dr. Derry, you said it. It's not easy to create content. So my heart goes to all the presenters in all these platforms. I can't even count how many hours we've done, forget about episodes. Because some days we're there for hours, like Debbie, 10 hours, 12 hours. We are here. So I just want to thank God for all of you that take your time out of your busy schedule to bring research, to create content, come here and educate us, inspire us, uplift us. We don't take it for granted. I might be in the background sometimes in the evening and sit quiet, but I'm here. Thank you. And we'll keep moving strong on Deep Dive. It's a globally changing life. It is really changing life. We deep dive in every aspect. And to the sister platform, thank you all for really, really educating us, really, really uplifting us, really making some of us to think, to change our lifestyle based on all what you feed us with here. I really appreciate you all. And I say thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Patience. Thank you.
Thank you, Queen Dr. Pat. Queen Debbie, you are muted.
I'm talking with, and I didn't know I was muted. Thank you very much. We are so blessed. I like this family. We start from one thing and then we just end up empowering one another. It's a gift. When you agree with the 5 fingers, different shapes, different prints on them, you all agree that they belong to you. They always work together in unity. And that's what I just noticed. Thank you, Dr. P. That was so sweet. Those kind words. We know you're always there in the background. And when it's time and you're able, you share with us. We very much appreciate that. And only people of one good heart can be together this long without tearing each other apart. And we've been working in that way. We have not been tearing one another apart. It's always smiles, smiles. I'm in a dark book, but I'm still smiling, right? Life has to go on. But anyway, thank you all so much. And I was going to call on Dr. T to give her final word, Dr. Benny her final word, and then Dr. Derek gives us the blessing, and then we'll close for the day, so I can move on and work on this dark thing from my end. Over to you, Dr. T. Thank you.
Thank you again. I just want to say this. I recall the very first time I came on this webinar. I don't even remember how I found it. I think that Queen Tony found it. We were looking for an opportunity to be a part of ONPASSIVE, and we came across this particular webinar. And I remember listening to the mindset, and I said to myself, I can do that. And I contacted Dr. Derek. I'm trying to, did I text him or did I call him? But I contacted Dr. Derek to let him know that I would like to do the mindset. But little did I know that he was going to ask me to do it every week. I didn't know that. So every time, when I did the first and second mindset, he would call me or text me and say, okay, what's the mindset for next week? That's all. So I said, okay, I'm in it now. I'm in it. So here I am. So now I beat him to the punch. He doesn't have to call me or text me. I send the mindset on Fridays. I beat him to the punch. So let him know I'm ready and I'm going to do it. If I cannot do it, I notify him on Fridays too to let him know I won't be available. So I don't leave him hanging. But I really appreciate this platform. I appreciate you all stretching me. Yes, it is a challenge to come up with topics, but I thank you for allowing me to work on my potential. No, I have not arrived. Dr. T has not arrived, but you're allowing me to stretch and you're allowing me to grow. And I do not want to be guilty of being an underachiever. And I want to encourage all of you to look at the areas that I shared with you this evening, the first 5 areas, and ask yourself, am I a victim of these particular warning signs? I want to get rid of them. I want to work on being the best version of myself, and I want to move forward because this particular platform was created for a reason. God called Dr. Derek to create Deep Dive. And it's not by accident that he came up with his name, Deep Dive. To go into the innermost core of your being and to pull those things out that's in you. He's a spiritual man. I know that Dr. Derek is a spiritual man. And I know that God talks to him. And so this is the reason why I'm honored as a woman. I'm honored as a person who's a part of ONPASSIVE to be a part of this wonderful, phenomenal platform. And he allows me to share week after week when I can be here to impart in you all what I believe that God has put in me. So thank you again for this opportunity. Let's stop sabotaging ourselves and let's be the wonderful, awesome men and women that God has ordained and mandated all of us to be. Thank you so much for allowing me to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. T. Over to you, Dr. Benny.
Thank you, Queen Debbie. I also want to thank Dr. Derek for this astonishing webinar. I'm thanking him because, like I stated from the beginning, that pretty soon you and I will be receiving the apples. Now, by receiving the apples, to tell you the truth, a lot of our brand ambassadors or affiliates, they don't read. They don't care. They don't know what is happening. What they want is money. Now, how are you going to protect your money? Remember that sometimes those hackers out there, when they steal your phone or they hack into your phone, they will utilize it and call your friends, your contact, and start asking for money. And when they ask money, if you're not vigilant, you will just give them money because I say, oh, I need some money. That is why you're supposed to call me to find out if I called you to ask for money. Do you understand? People don't know that. So the reason for this topic, as I stated, hackers may have stolen your social security number in a massive breach. Now we talk about dark web. A dark web is a worldwide wild web content that exists on dark net. Overlay. What is overlay? It's like a joint or a connection of networks that it uses the network, but it requires specific software configurations or authorization to access. Now, through that dark web, you have private computers, network that can communicate with a dark business anonymous without divulging or identifying the information such as the users, you and I, our location, right? So what are we supposed to do? What are the steps? I'm just naming them, but I'm not explaining. You monitor your financial accounts, identity theft protection services, you freeze your credit card, report for any incidents, update your social security practice, stay informed. Remember that being proactive and vigilant in safeguarding your personal information is crucial in today's digital world. By taking these proactive measures, you can help now to minimize the potential impact of the data breach on your personal and financial well-being. Make sure you check your what? Your credit card, your bank account, because those hackers, when they steal your credit card, they will purchase things that, you know that when you steal money, that is not yours. You will purchase things that you're not supposed to, just to hurt that individual. So make sure when you find out inactivities of somebody that has stolen your money, you call your bank immediately. Call the credit card company immediately so they can stop it. Remember, be vigilant. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And I'll see you all next week.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. You're awesome, and you know it. Thank you once more. Dr. Derek, please just give us your blessing so we can say goodbye to our YouTube viewers, and then we'll move on to after party.
All right. Mercy, mercy, mercy. Wonderful peace, blessings, and of love to everyone. All right. We just want to thank you all for your blessings on this webinar. Really appreciate. Thank you, Queen Dr. T, and First Lady Queen Dr. Benny, and of course also the host Queen Debbie, and really appreciate. Thank you very much for joining us here on Deep Dive, another episode. And come tomorrow, we will be most definitely having lifting of humanity with Julie Peer. Thursday morning, it's ONPASSIVE, Singapore and Malaysia. That's in the morning, 9 a.m. Then right back again with Deep Dive Thursday evening at 8 p.m. And then we have Dream Team on Sunday, 12:45 p.m. And these are all Eastern Daylight Time. And then we have Monday, Mindset Monday, with Queen Miriam Edwards. So we have a good amount of webinars. Queen Dr. Yvonne, also every day at 1 p.m. And there's many other webinars. So please tune in. Please tune in. This is September to remember, as our CEO have stated, that this month is the month where our ecosystem will return. And so this is a very exciting month, and everyone should be tapping their heels and jumping up and down, because this is a wonderful Katawampos month. So therefore, things will, because all the data, all our information, all our wallet information, all the product information, everything has been intact and restored. And so it's just to roll it back out now. And so it's great time. It should be done. And even if it's not September and it's October, hey, don't cry. Not to worry. The thing about Ashrafari is that he says he will do or die. So it's just that mindset we should have, right? So it's not if it will be done, maybe no. He said, in the name of God, it will be done. Do it or he dies doing it. All right. So don't worry about it. Everything is copacetic. Remember, the business, the entire business side of ONPASSIVE is 20%, and the heart of ONPASSIVE, the integrity of ONPASSIVE is 80%. So even if all of the business is down and out, we still have 80%. Remember that. Very important. Which means the most part of the business is our integrity and our heart. That is the majority of the business. Try to remember that always. And mechanics is just 20%. Thank you very much, everyone, here on the webinar platform. And for those, over 300, over 400 persons on the very YouTube platform. So we thank you all very much for attending this deep dive webinar. Have a wonderful evening, and I will turn it back over to Queen Debbie McCormick.
Thank you, Dr. Derek. Wow, that was an awesome blessing for the day. And that tops it all. We cannot add anything but to say we're moving over to the next segment of the webinar that will be piloted by our wonderful King Bishop Harold and our sister, Queen, Sister Dr. Nadu. After party, stay here and have fun, everybody. And